Hello, everyone, and welcome to She Exudes Now Virtual Talks. I am your host, Alicia Renee, and I am a certified confidence coach, author, blogger, all the things. But we are here tonight to inspire you and to uplift you. And the purpose of the She Exudes Now is just to help the everyday woman out and provide tips that you can learn and grow from and live your best life. So, today I am so excited because my guest is going to talk about self love. So, we often talk about self care and we provide lots of tips on how to make sure that we are having some time to ourselves and refilling our spirit, all of that good stuff. But there is another concept that people should draw on, particularly women should draw on. And this is the concept of self love. So, we're going to talk about self love. And my guest today specializes in teaching single mothers how to be more confident and how to learn how to exhibit those qualities of loving on themselves. So I'm so excited about that. I'm going to bring her right now on the stage so we can get the conversation started. All right, we have Miss Ebony D. Hello.
Hello, Alicia, Queen Alicia. How are you?
Thank you. I am great and just excited to have you on my platform. We actually met a few months ago, several months ago, but then a few months ago we reconnected. I was able to join you on your podcast. And it's just been a good connection. I love your spirit, and we're going to be collaborating, doing some more things. We'll tell everybody about that later. But I'm just very excited to have you on today.
I am truly excited. Listen, anytime I get to share my story and share love, I get
Mhm.
geeked every time. It's like I'm doing it for the first time. So I'm
Yes.
truly honored to be here.
Yes. All right. Awesome. So, before we get started with our discussion tonight, I asked all of my guests, what are you exuding today? So, how are you feeling? What do you maybe hope to exude more of? So, I can let you go first if you want to go first.
Yes, absolutely. So today I am exuding gratitude.
Mm,
I'm just being grateful for where I'm at, where I have been,
hmm
and where I'm going. I was talking to
hmm
my godmom the other day, and I told her, I wake up with this undeniable joy. And she said, "Why?" I
hmm
said, "Because I get another day
hmm
to make it better. I get another day to I get a redo. I get a reset. I get a fresh
hmm
start." And I can look forward to something new or meeting someone new. So I'm just grateful, just for
hmm
everything that God has poured into me and using me for. So I'm
Yes.
exuding gratitude.
I love that. That's excellent. So I won't steal yours, even though I do feel happy and I'm exuding gratitude as well. But peace is the one that I want to use today. So just various things that we go through in life. Sometimes it's just the normal everyday. obstacles and the normal everyday challenges. But I'm just so happy that I'm finding my peace. I'm overcoming some things that would normally have just caused me to be stressed out or overwhelmed.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, you know what? It's going to be all good. It's all going to work out for the good. So I was
Good.
thankful for today.
You know what? Can I add something to that?
Hmm. Sure.
Okay, really quick. So, peace is amazing. I absolutely love that. And I say that a week ago, my cousin had a birthday party, and her husband had us do wine and canvas painting. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I've never done this at the house. Now, I will
Hmm.
go to the location, but I've never done it at the house. So
Hmm.
we got all these artists. All my cousins can paint, they can draw, and I'm
Oh,
sitting here
wow.
like, so this ain't my cup of tea. This ain't for me, right? But then I
Hmm.
said, no, no, no. I sat back. I said, so what do I want to draw? Peace came up. I said to myself, what do I want life to look like? I often
Hmm.
reflect on what I want my life to be, right? So I
Hmm.
got some blue. I started making water. Why did I
Hmm.
draw water? Because it's peaceful, it's calm, it's serene. You can think, it's beautiful, and you can
Hmm.
really get lost in the wind. Then
Hmm.
I drew some birds. And it wasn't nothing but a couple of the little M birds, nothing
Yeah.
major, but you can see it. The birds represent freedom. I'm
Hmm.
flying. I don't have anything holding me down. No more weights. I can go wherever I please,
Hmm.
whenever, and feel good doing it. And then I
Hmm.
drew the sun. I drew the sun because I'm always feeling bright. I am the light. God is my
Hmm.
source. And because I'm created in his image, I'm light too. No
Yes.
more darkness, right? Then
Hmm.
the last thing I put on there, I wrote, life is good.
Hmm.
Why? I had to constantly I want to constantly remind myself, no matter what we're going through, no matter
Hmm.
what I've been through, you know what? I'm breathing. Life is
Yes.
good. So I just
Yeah.
want to piggyback off of the piece because
Yeah.
that drawing reflects that.
Hmm. I love that. That's awesome that you were able to pour all of that into your drawing, even though that wasn't something that you thought you could do. So that just kind of shows how when we give things a try, they can end up being very good for us. So
Yes,
great job. Great example. All right. So we are going to just jump right into this topic of self love, and particularly self love for the single mother. And so I want to start by asking you to define self love for us and tell us how it's different from self care.
absolutely. So, self love, and what I have discovered, is really honing in on the inner being and really being intentional on serving yourself, making sure your cup is full, going after your desires, your needs, and your wants unapologetically, okay? And it's also having high consideration for everything that concerns you. For instance, employment, careers, friendships, relationships, whatever decision, even parenting, whatever decision you have to make, you are considering yourself, your time, and your values. That is what self-love is. Self-love is allows you to create boundaries. Everyone don't get access to you when you practice self-love. Now, really quick, I just want to give some examples of what self love could look like. So, for me, I struggled with saying no. I was a people pleaser. I had to be everywhere that everyone wanted me to be, and I was stretching myself thin, which in return, I wasn't good for anybody, honestly. But when I began to say no to people, no to places, and no to things, I found myself being full, found myself making better decisions and not repeating unwanted cycles. Another one is just being kind to yourself daily. And when I say being kind, you may wake up late, okay? And Everything didn't get done that you thought you wanted to get done for the day because you already start the day off late. But you calm down, you take a breath of fresh air, you breathe in, you breathe out, and you tell yourself it's gonna be okay. You are doing the best that you can. Just keep going. Just keep going. And that is another example of practicing self love. And then also, this is one of my favorites, you all, is leaving toxic relationships, or when friendships or relationships have expired, you allow that to take place. If the season is over, let the season be over. Why? Because now you are making room for whatever is new and fresh in your life. So now you can prosper and become the woman that you are designed and called to be. Now we
Mm,
talk about self care. Um, People use both at the, they kind of say it's the same thing, but self-care honestly is really about taking care of yourself physically. It really deals with the outer appearance. And it's I'm gonna make a quick joke, but you all may know this song: hair done, nail done, everything did, and then the nails done, hair done, everything did, right? So I'm I know some of you may know that song. That's what I think of when we think about getting our nails and our hair done, our eyebrows, our eyelashes, making sure we have on a nice outfit that is presentable, making sure we get rest, our physical health, making sure we drink our water, we skincare. All of that is physical and that's self care. Can I be real with you all? But we need both of those. If you want to walk in confidence and love the person who you are inside and out, you can't skip either one. You have to be intentional on nurturing you on the inside and also nurturing you on the outside. And like I said, I know a lot of people get those confused, or they interchange them, but we need both of them. Reason being is it will definitely increase your self-esteem. You will attract more people that are of quality standard, and you will begin to expect more of yourself. And anyone that comes around you, you will have a higher expectation. So I just want to encourage anyone to don't self-love, nurture that. Self-care, nurture that. Now I know we're gonna get into this later, but being a single mother, we feel like that's challenging. But where there's a way, where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah, where there's a will, there's a way.
yes. Okay. So I loved everything about that and how you broke down the difference between self love and self care. And I see self care as more so the act that you do because you love yourself.
Yes.
Yes. So that was awesome. Okay. So you just gave us a lot of information, and I'm hoping that some people are like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I actually do that.
Yes.
So, can you just share a little bit about your story? Because I'm pretty sure you haven't always, loved on yourself the way that you should have, or haven't always been, confident and inspiring. Can you tell us a little bit about how you came to be who you are and how or why you decided that you were going to focus on helping other people grow in that area?
Oh my goodness, yes, yes. And I always disclaimer out there. I hope I don't cry. I don't have on any makeup. If I do, I'm good at this point. But so really quick, I found myself single, pregnant, abandoned, and trying to figure this thing out on my own.
Mhm,
And when I announced that I was pregnant, my child's father decided, it was fun, but you're really not who I want to be with. I want to be with
mhm,
someone else. And of course, I thought he was playing. I thought he was going to come back, which many of us as single mothers may believe if we really love our child's father, we believe one day they're going to come back. But
mhm,
the truth is, he never came back. So I began to question myself, well, what's wrong with me? What does
mhm,
she have that I don't have? Why didn't he choose me? Am I not cute enough? wait, do I not have enough money? Am I not
Mhm.
smart enough? Like, is my butt not big enough? Like, I mean, because I was petite, you know. I'm
Mhm.
like, I didn't understand what the issue was. And
Mhm.
I went through 9 months or 6 months trying to figure this thing out until
Mhm.
God told me you don't have to figure out why that didn't work.
Mhm.
You have to figure out why you're not working to make you a better you.
Mm.
I said, I don't even know what that means. I had no
Mhm.
idea. He told me to get up and he advised me it's time to start loving on you. And I
Mhm.
still didn't understand what that meant. Um, but he showed me through scripture and he showed me through gospel music how to
Mhm.
start with affirmations. First, I just started off with affirming myself. You are
Mhm.
beautiful. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are
Yes.
the head and not the tail. And I just begin to just say this every single day, y'all. And can I be real? I was just saying it. I was just saying it
Mhm.
because God told me to say it. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
even know what this means. What I don't even I don't know,
Mhm.
right? But then the more I said it, I began to feel it. Ooh,
It
and the
became
more I
real.
began to feel it, I began to see it. Ooh, when I saw it, I
Mhm.
began to walk it out, y'all. And I said, listen, this works. Okay. I feel good. So
Mhm.
then that's when I started going on my journey of just rediscovering who I was. Why
Mhm.
is it that you ended up in a relationship that ended in abandonment? And I
Mhm.
discovered because I was still dealing with childhood trauma of abandonment. But if
Mhm.
you never take that time to sit and discover yourself, you will never understand why you operate and function the way that you do. So
Right.
that's when I started this whole self love journey. I was addicted. I drank self love. I ate self love. I went to sleep on self love. I read
Mhm.
self, like I was everything self love. And then God, I wrote my first book, Gift of Pain. And then God said, now it's time for you to go tell my people that they are better, they are
Mhm.
bigger, they can have so much more, but they have to position
Mhm.
themselves for the promise. So that's how it all started. Listen, Alicia, I was scared. I had no this was not the path for me, but I
Mhm.
absolutely love it because not only do I get to help other people, while I'm helping them, I'm still working on me. And it's the best business to be in. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
absolutely love it.
Yes, and I can definitely identify with that, in starting the Confident Lily. It
Mhm.
was birthed out of me trying to instill confidence in myself, trying to help myself and finding out, okay, what my purpose is and how I can be the stronger, person that I wanted to be mentally and physically. And so
Mm.
from there, it was, okay, other women need to hear this too. So I definitely identify with that. So let's talk about the myth or the misconception that self love is selfish.
Uh,
What
now
would you
you
say to that?
now you know this is my everything, okay? Because we hear this, we are trained that oh, you must give to receive, and
Mhm,
just be there for other people, and even generational. When we see our grandparents, or my grandmother is one who constantly gives, and I
mhm,
see her not giving to herself, and I tell my grandmother, if I just living through you and seeing you, I'm glad I saw that because I know to put me first.
mhm,
Because even though you put other people first, you still may end up lonely. You still
mhm,
may end up not having enough. You still may end up with low self esteem. And
mhm,
so I encourage people to put their self first. And the reason why it's not selfish is because selfishness is when you don't mind being on the receiving side, but you
mhm.
are 1,000% do not care to be on the giving side. You just
Okay.
want to take and keep and hold it all to yourself, right?
Mhm,
But then when you are loving on yourself, you are literally nourishing yourself, replenishing your body, mind, heart, and soul so
mhm,
that you have the ability and the capability to give back.
Mhm.
and pour into other people.
Mhm.
And with being and with having self-love, you're not depleting other people's resources. You're
Mhm.
just making enough for your own so that you
Yeah.
can share and spread the love. So it's definitely not selfish at
Mhm.
all. It's necessary. I love
Mhm.
how Ayana Bazant puts it when she says it is being self-full when you love yourself.
Ooh.
Okay,
Yes.
it's yourself full, not selfish. Yourself
Yes.
full, right? And we
Mhm.
all want to be full. So, um,
Mhm.
and if you are an empath, you take on people's energies and things of that
Mhm.
nature, or you are a praying warrior, an ancestor, or anything of that nature, pastor,
Mhm.
anything motivator.
Mhm.
You have to be full to give to
Mhm.
somebody else.
You do. Yes. Yes. I love that. I love the fact that you brought in that saying, and I'm gonna start using that myself because it's about being self full and then being able to go out and help others.
Come on,
In the example that you gave with being a leader,
yeah,
lots of times leaders, we put ourselves on the back burner because we're called to help or we're called to lead a project. We're just working, 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 trying to achieve the goal. And that's when we get the burnout. That's when become stressed out or we're depleted or, just lack of energy and we're just not treating ourselves well. But
hmm
if we did more to make sure that we always checked in and made sure we were getting the rest that we needed to do, to have, we were
yes,
eating properly, working out, whatever it is, spending time with family, whatever it is, then we're able to do more work. We're
we
able to
are.
help more people because
hmm
we are full. Like you said, we are self full. So
Yes.
love that, love that, love that. I also love the example that you gave with about your grandmother, because this is something that's been talked about before when we talk about older generation, and how, sometimes as women, they just kind of accepted the cultural norms or the societal norms at that time and maybe didn't really speak up for themselves as much. Maybe they didn't work outside the home, so they relied on someone else, maybe the man, to provide for the household. And so, because they were that main provider, they allowed a lot of things to happen that maybe were not the best situations. Um,
Yes.
and I'm kind of thinking about, you know, the cases where little Johnny has a brother and sister that live down the street and he never knew that he did. But mother accepted that because she was like, well, where am I going to go?
Ooh,
Or how am I going to make it without this individual, financially?
come on.
And yes, I really love this individual, and I don't want to feel brokenhearted. I don't want to be lonely. So I'm just going to take these things. And then also, Papa was a Rolling Stone,
Come on.
so I seen this happen before, so
Yep.
that's when we get into generational curses as well, because you saw something that was negative that happened back in the day, or maybe aunt, uncle, cousin, whatever, and you're still repeating the cycle because that's what you've seen, and it's also part of your spirit. It's part of your bloodline.
Yes.
So do you really love yourself if you are looking out for what you think is best
Mm.
financially, what you
Mm.
think is best for the kids, what you think looks right, and you're not gonna have everybody at church talking about you?
Right?
um you really have to stop and consider, because God put us on this earth to be prosperous and to feel love, to be loved, by Him. Of course, He is the greatest Father and lover, but also so that we can be equipped to help other people as well. He didn't put us on this earth or give us life so we can just kind of be doormats or just kind of take things and
Mm-hmm.
not enjoy life ourselves.
Mm.
So
Woo, that's
you
good.
said that, I was just like, you know what?
That's good, Alicia. That is good because we do have to understand when God made everything, He said it is finished, and all that He
Mm,
make is good, right? And the garden was beautiful. He
mhm,
did not just make that in mind that this was going to be it.
mhm,
Like we still have access to all the fruit that God
mhm,
has for us. But what we have to do is go find it. We have to see what is the fruit He has for us personally.
mhm,
Because some of us may be drinking or eating something different, but we have to
mhm,
know what that is.
mhm,
So I'm really glad you asked that question, because even sitting here, it still helps me to self reflect, you know. And
mhm,
again, I just want to encourage everybody: the generational curse thing is real. It's
mhm.
real. The childhood trauma is real,
Yes.
and it's necessary if you want to get to the best version of you. Get down to the
Mhm.
bottom of it. I mean, we
Right.
don't want to scrape the mud, but sometimes you have to.
We have to. Yeah, definitely, because we end up scraping all that mud upside, up under the doormat or just hiding it, trying to cover it all up, but it's still there. It is definitely still there.
Yes,
So
it
let's
is.
talk a little bit about single moms,
Mm-hmm.
and the importance of self-care for single moms. So I've been a single mom. My son is 14 now, 14 and a half. And I've been a single mom for most of his life. And so it has been difficult, to raise a child on your own. But knowing that you have to do all the things yourself, you have to play all the roles. And, it's just kind of like, this is a requirement. This is something that has to be done. That's hard enough to tackle on our own, but a lot of moms, particularly single moms, feel like their life is put on hold because they're living for their child. And, they want to make sure that they have the best life, which I can totally understand. But at the same time, we're going back to that self-fool, example that you gave us. And if you're a caretaker, you definitely need to make sure that you're full. So, what's your perspective on self love for the single mom?
See, I absolutely agree with you when it comes to single motherhood being very challenging. Don't get me wrong, I love being a mom. Like that's the best gift God could have ever gave me. If He took everything away from me, but I had my son, my homeboy, my ride or die, my movie watcher, my dancer, what have you. Listen, I'm good with that.
Mhm,
But there are some times where it gets frustrating,
mhm,
100%. And to stop me from getting frustrated, I used to deal with anger issues, right?
mhm,
Really bad anger issues. And but unfortunately, with being a mother, you can't really exert that anger on your child. So
mhm,
for me, I had to say, okay, what is the issue here? What is causing me to blow up? Or, I was overwhelmed. I was
mhm,
overwhelmed with being a mom, being a doctor, being a counselor to him,
mhm.
and being a play with him, being his playmate. I was over. I said, listen, I'm cooking food. I'm standing on one leg, one
Yes.
foot. Listen, I'm overwhelmed.
Mhm,
I often found myself at the beginning in the room just breaking down because I'm like,
mhm.
I was not ready for this.
Right.
Nobody told me that this would happen.
Mhm,
But of course, no one knew because my generation, everyone's married. So
mhm,
they didn't know. They couldn't tell me. So it is important to practice self love because let me tell you something, we're not going to get everything right.
mhm,
And you have to be kind to yourself and patient with yourself enough to know that I'm not perfect,
mhm.
but I'm working in progression. Okay, I'm
Yes.
not perfect. I'm learning something. Be open to learning something new every day. And when it comes to take your 10 to 15 minutes in the bathroom If you have a baby, when they nap, people say, "Oh, go to sleep when a baby go to sleep." No, no, no. That's your time.
Mhm.
That's your time to go sit in a bath, close your eyes, think, reflect, and
Mhm.
get your bearings together. If you
Mhm.
have one that's a little bit older, 4 or 5, that can kind of move around, you
Mhm.
set a schedule with them and you let them know, listen, mommy is going in the bathroom for 30 minutes, or mommy is going on a balcony for 15 minutes. You have
Mhm.
everything you need. I need to go regroup.
Mhm.
You have to be transparent with your children when you are a single mother, because they feel your emotions. If you're
Right.
overwhelmed, they're overwhelmed. So you
Right.
have to make sure you find time to love on yourself. And let me just say this: we are criticized. We are
Mhm.
criticized because people think they force on us that you're not enough for to
Mhm.
raise a young boy. Okay, let's just
Mhm.
say that. Or they say, "Where's the father at?" They always ask, "Where's the father?"
Right.
Or if
Mhm.
you're going to church, or like me, my son's in private school, and majority of the women are married. So how is the
Mhm.
father? Or is the father coming? You know,
Right.
they look at you as if you're inadequate.
Yes.
But overcome that by saying, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength.
Right.
Okay? He would
Mhm.
never put more on me than I can bear.
Mhm.
So you have to take that time and reaffirm yourself and really pour into your, listen, it's a daily walk. You can't
Mhm.
love yourself today and then put it down tomorrow and think that, everything is going to be good. This is something you do
Right.
every
Mhm.
single day. The other thing I want to tell us to
Mhm.
do is to make sure, watch what you're listening to. If you're listening to gossip, if you're listening to people who basically garbage,
Mhm.
that's how you're going to feel. Love yourself enough to listen to positive podcasts or positive sermons, or
Mhm.
have a productive conversation with someone of influence, or read something that's good for the soul. Mm.
Mhm.
Not only read something, eat a nice healthy meal.
Yes.
Don't skip
Mhm.
your meals, because when you hungry, you angry.
Mhm. It's a good one. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I just really want to encourage, as a single mother, listen, because we wear so many hats, you have to take that time for yourself. And the way that I do that is I schedule my self-love time, y'all. It's a thing. We need
Mhm.
to schedule that. I schedule my 15-20 minutes. Okay.
Mhm.
I do that.
Well, you have to, because if you are busy, you work full time,
Yep.
and you have to maybe drop off and pick up from
Mm-hmm.
school, and then, get the dinner ready, all of those things. And you have to schedule that time. You have to be intentional about it. And that's one thing that I've learned over the years. For me to say, this week, I'm going to spend some time journaling, or this
Yes.
week, I'm going to take the bubble bath, and I'm going to really make sure I go all out and do the candles and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
I have to be intentional about it,
Mm-hmm.
because if I don't set, a date, and I'm not specific about it, then any and everything will come up.
Yep.
And that's when we begin to be overwhelmed, especially if you are an entrepreneur or you're doing something else. Maybe you're volunteering, or you're part of a social organization, active in your church, whatever it may be. There's always going to be something else that is going to come up. So I'm glad that you mentioned, a few things that people can do, and I'm glad that you mentioned, setting time in your schedule. Um, let's talk even further about some habits or things that women can do, single moms can do, to make sure they're getting that self love time in, or even that they're, being intentional with loving on themselves. Because you talked earlier about affirmations and how that really changed the game for you.
Yes, I can definitely speak to that. So, one thing I do is I like my quiet time.
Hmm.
So, I get up earlier than my son, because everything is quiet, it's still. and I get out of my bed, I go to a total different room
Mhm.
because I am important enough to have my own space. And if for some reason, my son rolls over, I feel like he's getting up, then I'm distracted. I don't want any
Mhm.
distractions at all. So I developed this 15-21 rule. And what it is for 15 minutes, love on yourself for 21 days. Now,
Mm.
the ways that I've done that is I make sure I get my affirmations in daily. Like I take time to really write out affirmations that speak to my soul. I don't
Mhm.
do the normal average affirmations. I need
Mhm.
to personalize that thing. I need
Mhm.
to. 15 minutes of just affirming myself, but I do it standing in front of the mirror because
Mhm.
I want to see myself. I'm beautiful. Come on, Mary J.
Mhm.
Blige, good morning, gorgeous. Don't
Yes.
wait for nobody else to tell you that. The other
Mhm.
thing is audio. I make sure I'm listening to something that's going to uplift me. Please get in the
Mhm.
habit of turning off those reality TV shows,
Mhm.
scrolling on Instagram in the morning or scrolling on
Mhm.
Facebook. Spend time with yourself and
Mhm.
spend time with God. The other thing I practice every morning is meditation
Mm.
because I
Mhm.
believe how you start your day makes a difference.
It does.
And
Mhm.
listen, I'm my best self in the morning. I want to hear from God. Because if He's
Mhm.
telling me to do something today, I don't want to miss that blessing.
Right. Mhm.
As a single mom, I have to make sure I'm walking the path that is going to allow me to continue to be great for myself, for my son, and for the people I'm serving. So I have
Mhm.
that 15-21 rule. And a lot of us work, okay? So it kind of started because I'm always working, and I'm like, oh, I don't
Mhm.
have enough time. If you're working and you have a 15-minute break, go take a walk, be with yourself.
Mhm.
If you're working and you have 30 minutes, get a quick exercise in. You don't have to do a whole lot.
Mhm.
If you're working and you have an hour break, go ahead and read something. But whatever it is, if you just want to sit in peace and just breathe, listen to yourself breathe, because that's what you need to do. Carve out at least 15 minutes for 21 days. Why 21 days? Because it is said that 21 days builds a habit.
Mhm.
And I can definitely say that that's true. So
Mhm.
I do want you all to get in the habit of that, and also get in the habit of connecting with other women.
Mhm.
We are our sisters keepers. If we connect with each other, we can build each other up, lift each other up, and it's so much more powerful when we pray together
Yes.
and when
Mhm.
you can lean on each other. You don't have to feel alone. The last thing I want to tell you to do, budget. Get in
Mm.
the habit of budgeting. One of the biggest reasons that single moms do not take care of themselves or love on themselves is because they say they don't have enough money.
Mm. Mhm.
So you need a budget for yourself.
Right. Mhm.
Put yourself on your calendar, on your in your finances
Mhm.
monthly.
Mhm.
And that's it. Because don't make you're not making excuses for if your son or your daughter needs shoes or diapers or
Mhm.
socks. You need the same thing. Go
Right.
get you a new
Mhm.
pair of shoes, a new pair of socks.
Mhm.
A new
Mhm.
bra, whatever, new hair,
Mhm.
whatever. Go get it. But
Mhm.
you have to get in the habit of budgeting. Just budget
Mhm.
yourself, and then it'll be a lot more easier, and you won't feel like you're always giving, but you're able to
Mhm.
give to yourself.
Right. That was awesome because, I think, well, for myself, I know I forgot about that piece about budgeting and how important that could play on your ability to, do some self-care things. I love to eat. So I'm a foodie.
Right.
I learned very early on that I could take myself out to a
Come
nice
on.
restaurant and
Yes.
I could enjoy it even more because I don't have, somebody over there, you know, Mom, I don't like this or I don't like that. I don't have the cheap date sitting across from me that complains about everything, i.e., your child. Um, I could go get him McDonald's or whatever it is, and I can go take myself out to eat. And so if you don't have the money to do that, that's going to, prevent you from being able to do things like that. But there's also some alternatives. So I know people that, they're all about couponing. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, I'll go on Groupon
Mm-hmm.
and find a good coupon, basically. And they always have some sort of deal for a massage or a pedicure that's real affordable. So, like you said, save up for those things. If you know that it's the beginning of the month, and by the end of the month, you want to make sure that you can go and, get a nice dinner or get your nails done. Save
Mm-hmm.
up for those things and also look around and see where you can find some deals because they do exist. When it comes to clothing and shopping, retail therapy is a thing, even though it can get you into trouble. But yes, retail therapy is a thing, and you don't have to shop expensively.
You
I know some people that love to go on bargain hunts. There's some people that are thrifters. Um, just whatever you are attracted to or that gives you joy, try to find some alternatives so that you can do it more efficiently and effectively for your budget as well. So I love
That's
that.
good. That's good.
Mhm.
Mm.
The other thing that I would say that should become a habit for single moms is to make sure that you can find some sort of community. So not only, with family members or, the village to help you to raise that child or to just be around when you need a sitter, but also find some good girlfriends. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can just be one person that you can call and you can just talk to her and you can laugh. You
Yeah.
can talk about your troubles and vent. Just you need that outlet.
Come on.
And so many times, we as women, especially if we have children, again, are so focused on the kids that we don't have necessarily that outlet. We may not even have, someone to watch our child so that we can go run out and do something real quick to love on ourselves.
Mm.
So I know for me, when I moved to a new state, my son was a little bit older, but one thing that I found quickly was daycare. It was like a drop-in daycare type of situation.
Mm.
You can go and drop your child off for an hour, or you can drop them off for 4 hours. And they were open till 11 o'clock at night. So
Mm.
I know that they don't have that in every location, but if you can find something like that, do it. Again, it comes to the budget, comes back to the budget because, those things cost.
Yes.
But coupon, I was able to find a coupon. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend this $25 so that I can drop him off. He can play, and I'm going to run and go to a movie, or I'm going to do this meetup with some women that I met, and I'm going to have a good time so that when I pick him up, we're both going to feel like we got out the house and we did something.
Yes.
Now we're both feeling good.
And just to piggyback off there really quick, I was always one that never dealt with my neighbors. I never was
Mm.
like friendly enough to go. I was told to mind your business.
Mm.
Leave people where they at. Don't go ask for sugar. Don't go ask for
Yeah.
ketchup. Have everything you need. I was raised like that, right?
Hmm.
But I've been fortunate enough to where I live. I have phenomenal neighbors. I mean,
Mm.
phenomenal. They watch out for my son. They have literally watched him grow up.
Oh, wow.
And I actually have a single mother that's one of my neighbors, and we have become like great, great friends. So if I need to run to the store, I'm like, hey, can you watch Jeremiah real quick? Yeah, bring him over. Vice
Hmm.
versa for her. So I also want to encourage, like Alicia said, get out of your comfort zone and
Hmm.
go talk to those people, go meet those people because they may be able to help you in
Hmm.
any situation. Like she doesn't, I'm not sure if she works or anything, but I'm able to allow her to watch my son. So I really agree with finding a community, you all,
Hmm.
to help you as a single mom.
Yes, that's it's very important. So, what would you say to the person that has been very hurt. Someone that has, suffered, maybe the person that they loved didn't love them back the right way. And so now they feel like they've got the weight of the world on their shoulders. And not only do they have trouble giving love to other people, but they don't really love themselves.
Mm.
What would you say are maybe some of the first steps that they need to do to develop this self love and to be healed?
Oh, that's so good. The first thing I want to say is words of comfort is it's okay.
Hmm.
It's okay. You're not alone. You're not the only person that has experienced this. And what that does for me is to let me know God is still in the miracle working business.
Hmm.
He still has a hand out for those that are left out. So I would first tell them, it's okay.
Hmm.
It's okay. The second thing I would advise them to do is do not fight your tears.
Hmm.
If for some reason you find yourself in the bathroom and the tears are falling, don't feel like you have to be so strong and that you are considered weak and it's
Hmm.
your fault because it did not work out and because you're experiencing a broken heart.
Hmm.
Let those tears fall. And I'm saying this as I'm talking to my old self, because this is what I had to do to my old self is let those tears fall. Then I would advise them the next thing you want to do is talk to God.
Hmm.
And before I began this journey, can I be real? I knew God. I even served in the ministry at my church, but I
Hmm.
didn't have a relationship with God.
Hmm. Hmm.
I knew what He was about. I know what He did for other people, but I never really sat to ask myself or even allow Him to show me that He can do it for me.
Hmm.
So in the midst of going through this, just talk to God. And when I say talk, if all you can say is help, that's
Hmm.
all you have to say.
Right.
If all
Hmm.
you can say is I need, but you don't know what
Hmm.
you need, just say I
Hmm.
need.
Hmm.
And God will come through the way that you need Him to come through, y'all.
Hmm.
So I tell people to accept your situation. The first thing you gotta do is get out of denial. Whatever
Hmm.
happened, happened, and I'm broken, I'm hurt, I'm torn, I'm messed up. Just
Hmm.
accept it. And then you want to start working on becoming aware. Okay, what caused this to happen? What caused this? What were the events that took place?
Hmm.
And then from there, you want to adapt. Okay, God, I need you to help me fill in the gaps.
Yes.
And then you want to affirm yourself every day. God, I'm telling you, you're not going to believe it at first, but the more you do it, you will.
Hmm.
And understand this, because I'm you. I was who you were. It's all a setup, y'all.
Mm.
It's all a setup to get you to your next level. We look at Sierra the singer, and how she went through what she went through with Future. Oh my
Mhm,
goodness, listen, I admired her through this whole thing. She
mhm,
went through what she went through with Future, being cheated on, being brokenhearted, becoming a single mom, and then she eventually got with Russell Wilson, who is now loving her like she never been loved before, y'all.
mhm,
And so God is not. He didn't just. He's not going to allow that to just happen for her. But what she did, if you listen to her, she began to love on herself, and she began to set boundaries. She
mhm,
began to identify her value. She began to understand that what she will and will not deal with her non-negotiables. But listen, before
mhm.
you can get to that, you have to get your heart right, and
Right.
the mending of that takes place when you allow God to enter
Mhm,
into your heart to make you a new you.
mhm. Yes, absolutely. And also, I would say, realize that if nobody else has shown you love,
Come
you
on,
know, your parents may have done it, siblings, people at work, in your community, et cetera, the baby daddy, um, know that God loves you.
come on.
He is, oh my gosh, he is so concerned about you. And
Mm-hmm.
there is a purpose, a unique purpose for you on this earth, and it is not just to be such and such mother. That may be
Yes.
one of the biggest purpose for you in your life. However, there's more to you. There's we are unique and we're multifaceted people. So that is when you need to really dissect who you are as a person. What do you enjoy about yourself? What do you feel are your strengths? And sometimes when you've been beating yourself up all the time and over the years, and that's what you've allowed others to say about you, you can't even identify the good.
Come
And if
on.
that is you, just start with, oh my gosh, I woke up this morning.
Woo.
I'm breathing. I have a
Woo.
roof over my head. I am able to walk outside and observe the beauty that is outside. There are birds chirping. And guess what? I could hear the birds
Mhm.
chirp.
Mhm.
There is, heat, there is air flowing, and I can feel that. So begin to live in some sort of gratitude and begin to look at this miracle. If you are a mother, begin to look at this miracle, this child that you have that only made it because
Mm.
you were the person that you are. So there is something special about you. And lots of times we can't see all of it, but that's when people like myself and Ebony come into play, and we really try to help pull all of that out for you because you may be so blinded and you may keep hearing in your head all the negativity and all the things that they said that you couldn't do or that you wouldn't do. But Ebony and I are telling you, hello, sis, you are phenomenal.
Yes.
Hello, sis, you do this well. And so that is our purpose. And we have been, in similar situations when we were down and just, if I could physically picture the way that I felt back in the day, it was just so small, just tight in a ball, feeling like the world was on my shoulders and feeling like I wanted to break out, but I couldn't. So because I've experienced that, now I can help other women that may be feeling that way get out of it and get out of it quicker. And another thing is to connect with, a pastor or, another leader, maybe a minister that can help to administer words from a biblical perspective to help you. You may even need to seek a therapist or a counselor as well. So I'm just naming a few different options because sometimes we cannot do it all ourselves. And we are not supposed to do it all ourselves. That's why there are other people around us and we live in communities.
Absolutely. And what I want to add to that, phenomenal, is my book is called, my first book is Gift of Pain, Persevere Through an Abandoned Pregnancy. And people say, so why
Mhm.
gift of pain? Why? It's because even though I was going through all that pain of being rejected and, feeling like I wasn't good enough, I found the gift. And the
Mm.
gift was my son. When I gave birth
Mhm.
to him, when I was able to, when the fall cleared, that it was not about my child's father, but it was about what was inside of me.
Mhm.
And I birthed a book, I birthed a business, I
Yeah.
birthed a baby, y'all. I birthed a radio show. I birthed
Yeah.
all of that out of the pain of being rejected, abandoned, and left out.
Mhm.
So that is where the book came from. But I just want to piggyback off of Alicia with the miracle, y'all. He's setting you up for a miracle.
Mhm.
We just got to allow it to happen.
Yes. Awesome. So we could go on this topic and sharing our experiences because, you know, he did something for us. And so we feel that we need to share. And so this is kind of like our forte, but I'm hoping that people have really gotten something out of this and that they will continue to. I'm hoping that people will share this video, and I just want to talk a little bit about how they can contact us for additional information and inspiration. And I want to talk about our collaboration that we have coming up here soon. Yay! So we decided that we wanted to do an in-person event. So taking place on August 6th, is that right?
Yes, yes.
Yes. In Indianapolis, Indiana, we have the self-love sipping tea. So we talked about self-love today. We're going to talk about it more in person. We are going to be drinking some tea. We're going to be the distinguished ladies that we know that we are, and we're going to have some fun too.
Oh, we have vendors, we have music, and most importantly, we have hands-on workshops that
Hmm.
are definitely where you'll be able to see it, feel it, touch it, and get the experience of loving on yourself. Okay,
Yes.
we want to
Yes.
touch it, feel it, see it.
Yes. So it is coming up, and tickets will be available for purchase on Saturday, right?
It's sure, yes, on Saturday.
Okay, so we will make sure that our audiences see that and that you can tune in. But we'll also have some virtual things coming up as well, because I know that not everyone will be able to visit us in person. But in the meantime, where can everyone find you?
Absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram at I am Ebony D. Find me on Facebook at I am Ebony Davis. Feel free to join my self love community, single women finding self love, health, and happiness. And you can also go to my website at iamebonyd.com, say hi, get a couple free gifts, and yeah, just connect with your girl. And when you see me in these social media streets, make sure you say hi.
Say something. Yes, I love it. And as everyone should know, I am at confidentlily.com, where you can find all sorts of inspiration. You can also check out my devotional, She Exudes Confidence, Faith, and Prosperity. And I'm on Instagram and Facebook, inspiring people often. So, we just would love for you to tune in and ask us questions. If you have questions, come to us. We are here for a purpose to share. So, thank you so much for watching today. And thank you so much, Ebony, for being my guest. And we will see you
Love
all
it.
next time.
See you
Have
all.
a good
Have a
night.
self love day. Mwah.
Yes. Mhm.